obviously the fans were tremendous tonight. About the same amount of people, but they were in the game from the beginning, and they made a difference in the game, a huge difference. So, that's a big factor. Be a good team. Teams hard matchups are a lot of things in college basketball. We don't match up well with this particular team because they have so many passers, so many good shooters that no matter where you go, they're going to get some looks. I thought overall we really didn't defend the three-point line too bad. I just thought overall we played really, really well, and we've still got a lot of work to do. We're fortunate that when we come back, we get a couple practice days, game, and then we'll have five or six practice days before we start back into the conference. So we need all that time. We need to get these guys better. Joe's 6-1, 8-0 from rec, 4-1. Buddy's 4-1, 22-4. Assists to turnovers. That's unheard of. I don't think anybody does that. I don't think we've ever had 22 assists and 4 turnovers. I guarantee it. Ever. As far as how I coach, I've been coaching this way for a long time. Obviously, we're not going to change that. We do try to adjust from game to game, offensively and defensively. And we went from a direct opposite, playing all inside defense, to a completely opposite game in 2 days. Not a great team. We have to fight, claw for everything we get, and that's what they're doing. Very, very proud of the way they're playing. They're playing, as I think right now, as well as we can play, yet I think we can hopefully still get better. Have a good Christmas.
Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is @Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice. And there it is. There it is. The Christmas Open. Ah, it's so festive. It makes me feel so good. I love it. Joe hates it. Joe's a Grinch. That's fine.
'Tis the season. I'm getting better.
You are getting better, Joe, because you didn't flip me off during that. So that's a plus. That's definitely a plus.
I was actually moving with the music.
I saw the head bob. I saw it going. So I can appreciate that because Joe hates Christmas. In fact,
it's not that.
Hey, rate, review, and subscribe, whatever platform you listen on. We appreciate all of you who have already done so. So the Orange battle a barrage of 17 made threes by North Florida to hold on to an 82-70 win in the Dome. And we'll go over that game. And we will also talk about Niagara. Greg Paulus comes back to the Dome with his Niagara Purple Eagles, which is the most ridiculous.
Don't go there.
The most ridiculous name for a basketball team I have ever heard in my life. Saturday, December 28th at 7 o'clock. We'll let you know what we think about that. So, all is well. Right, Joe? And we have a week off. So we are going to give you the post-game, pre-game, and also I think, that way there we can obviously stick something in during the holiday break from basketball. And
yes,
we're going to try to stick in some football stuff. But before we get into all the fun stuff here, I'm going to tell you about Blue Chew. They sponsor the show. We appreciate them. So listen up. If you want to increase your performance and get extra confidence in bed, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So you know it works. You can take them anytime, day or night, on a full or empty stomach. And since they're chewable. They work up to twice as fast as the pill, so you can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. If you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Blue Chew is prescribed online and ships straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor's visits, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than the pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use the special promo code ARMCHAIR. Just pay the shipping. Everything else is free after that. Again, that's BLUE Chew.com. Promo code ARMCHAIR. Try it for free after the $5 shipping. Blue Chew is better, cheaper, faster, and we thank them for sponsoring this show and Armchair Media. Remember, they promise no guaranteed results, and they do not say anywhere that they cure disease. So, Joe. Wait, hold
Yes,
on.
sir.
Hold on. All right. So, well, we'll get into it. Let's just do it. Syracuse remains undefeated against the Ospreys. Okay, 2-0. North Florida was one made three shy of tying a record of 18 made threes by an opponent against Syracuse. That was set by Virginia last year, and we, in a game, we'd all like to forget. I think it was an awful game. It was in the Dome.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Sorry. They did set a record for threes attempted, though, with 47, which is insane. That's an insane amount of shots from behind the arc.
I thought it was 46. Either way, it's still a record.
Yeah, I think it's 47. That's what I saw. Just 9 of those 55 shots taken by North Florida were inside the arc. Dolezaj, he has now scored at least 10 points in 5 of the last 6 games. And, that's pretty good. He's coming up, and we need him to do that, and we'll talk about Quincy here in a second. He finished with 17 in his 34 minutes of play before fouling out. He also went 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Quincy, he played probably his best 16 minutes in an orange uniform in his young career. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 4 offensive, and 1 block. But more than that, he was physical down low, and that's exactly what we're looking for. That's the key. And it's only a matter of time, I think, before it just clicks with him, and that's going to be huge for this young team. Hopefully, we can capitalize on this game going forward, and we'll see. The Orange assist game was impressive, again, as they've been doing all year. Assists on 22 of 27 buckets, and tied for turnovers with a low of 4. So, like you heard Coach in the montage, pretty phenomenal, no matter who it is. So, for the first time in 3 years, Syracuse had 5 players in double digits scoring. Buddy and Joe both went 4 for 10 from distance. Gerard finished with 14 points, Buddy with 16, and Hughes with 18. And Coach made a comparison. I didn't put it in the montage, but he did make a comparison with Hughes in his play so far this season. So, per SU Athletics, Hughes is the only major conference player in the country with at least 200 points, 40 rebounds, 40 assists, 10 blocks, and 10 steals. This is amazing. The only other 2 players to have reached this in Division I were Markel Fultz from Washington and Dwayne Wade from Marquette at their time playing college ball. So, Joe, unfortunately...
That's a crazy stat.
It's a crazy stat, right? And it's weird. These things just pop up.
To even look at, yeah.
I know, and it's like, you didn't even... you knew Hughes was on his game. He's been on his game all year, but you don't equate that with those kind of numbers. You just figure he's scoring a lot. But he's 40 assists. He's facilitating, he's scoring, he's doing everything. 10 blocks, 10 steals. So...
Well, they need him to.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been coming up big. And, it's sad. Look, he's raising his NBA market value. Okay? There's no doubt about it. Now, it just sucks that it could be, in a down year for Syracuse. Well, it's not a total down year yet, but
no.
You know what I'm saying, Joe?
Yeah, it's definitely I definitely understand where you're going with that. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of season left, man. You really can't.
Absolutely.
So, as far as this game,
I pumped the brakes.
Yeah, as far as this game and how we talked about the last episode and how we thought it was going to go, it kind of went exactly the way we were thinking. And teams, they know who our strong guys are as far as offensively and the shooters and everything. So Dolezaj is going to have to do that. And I hope that he can get the confidence to be. I mean, you saw a couple times he got it in the middle. There was no one around him, and he didn't even look at the basket. And you had fans like starting to make noise, and he had to turn around and make a play or something. Like, he needs to be able to be confident enough to know that we're going to have to rely on him just to score there. So it was good to see, and I'm glad that our big guys, they stepped up and did what they had to do so that we could get that win. Because, oh man, how nervous were you during that game? Like, North Florida just kept hitting, and we knew they were going to do it, right? I mean, we knew exactly what it was, right? And we almost saw a role reversal, right? Because we're usually the team that's shooting the threes and not getting the fouls and not getting the free throws. And now you see a team that's, I mean, you talk about relying on threes. That's a team that is going to, they didn't even shoot 10 twos.
No, they didn't.
So,
well, and that's why, Joe. That's why we were able to get inside, and that's also why, that you can hit 17 threes, that they could hit 17 threes, and we could still win the game. I mean, they were one dimensional essentially. So, I mean, they were.
But they were good with it.
Oh, they were absolutely.
They penetrated the zone just to get kickouts.
Right.
They were not going in. They were not driving to score. They were driving to open up lanes to get people to get sucked in toward the basket, to kick people, out passes for shooters. And like we saw, it worked. On defense, you saw that they came out with a zone, and we kind of struggled with it a little bit. Like I talked about, Merrick with trying to turn and get those, those plays and make those offensive plays once they started coming out. But when we weren't hitting the 3-pointers, then it was looking pretty bad. But when we started shooting, then we got them out of the zone because Mark started making plays and we were hitting our threes. They went man to man, and that's when we started to see Elijah Hughes and some of the other guys take their man to the hole, get to the free throw line, stuff like that. So that was kind of, we needed to be smart, and we needed to know what our strengths are versus what their strengths and weaknesses are, and play the game that we did. And they kind of ran it to perfection, especially like you said, the amount of assists to turnovers that they had and stuff like that.
They've been doing that. I mean, the turnovers have been around 10 or 8 to 10, something like that.
They've been, but, and that's how we need to be, right? I mean, we talked about the other things, and obviously, other than individual players getting better, there is going to be a point where we have what we have. But I still think that there's still people. We talked about Quincy and being able to turn the corner, and he showed glimpses of that with this game, and I hope that the confidence shoots up and he can do it again. Come against Niagara, and maybe he can get that going toward ACC play, because that's really going to be. I mean, you saw it. He had 7 rebounds in 16 minutes. The leading rebounder that we had on the team was Sidibe with 8 in 22 minutes. So that's the guy that's, when we talk about being able to neutralize some offensive rebounds and the rebounding margin and try to get some strength and some energy in there for some plays, some alley-oops, dunks, stuff like that. He's going to need to be able to do that, man. So, and he did. So overall, obviously it's a lesser opponent than ACC play, but it's nice to see that they can use their strengths and use and follow a game plan, even against a team that they should beat pretty handily, to ensure that they actually get the W and do what they're supposed to do. So, that was kind of what was exciting for me. So,
yeah, and I mean, you want to talk about, it's North Florida. I mean, blah blah blah. We've only played them twice, and this and that, and this and that. Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if they made it. If we see them not us, but if we don't see them make the field
of the tournament. Yeah. So I mean,
I wouldn't want to be a 2 seed facing them. Would you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it was at one time we were down 38 to. What was it, 38 to 33 or something like that?
And they got some guys that can pull the trigger fast, and a couple of those guys.
Oh yeah, and we were in our
Henderson
defense
and some of those other guys. They're 6'7". They can shoot over guys. So
yeah, and our defense is I think this defense this year is subpar to what it's been. And thankfully we make up for some of that with our shooting ability.
Right.
And if we could get those things, if we could get the defense to click, this team, and that's the heart of this team is defense. But this team will be, I mean, If they can get the defense to click, this team will be dangerous. And it's like Coach said, 20 games. I mean, he's talking about 15 to 20 games. We're approaching number 13 here in a week, where they're going to have some time off, but they're going to have a couple practice games. They're going to play a game, and then I think they get a whole nother week of practice because we got New Year's. So, I mean, they're starting to hit this stride just right. If I would have told you that that North Florida hit 17 threes, your butt would pucker. You know, if you didn't know the outcome of the game,
until you
right?
told me that they shot 46 or 47 of them, and we still ended up shooting a better percentage than them, and they only ended up shooting 9 2-point field goals. I mean, realistically, we baited them into shooting too many threes. And again, that's what they wanted to do. But if we would play that game over again, I would be willing to bet that we beat them by 20 plus.
Yeah, but
just because we would know that they are not trying to shoot twos.
They did hit close to their average, though. Their average is 40, I think, as a team. They were 37. So, I mean, not terrible, but I mean, 37.
No, it wasn't terrible, but at the end, I mean now that you've seen that once, though, as a team out there playing, you'd have had guys not getting sucked into those guys driving and trying to. They would have forced them to shoot 2-point field goals because they really weren't trying to. So we'd be able to play the passing lanes a little bit better. And if we were to play that team again, it would be a completely different game. But that's
totally.
really the element of surprise when
Yeah, and that's what I mean by they were just one-dimensional. I mean, that's why they were able to hit that many and we still won, because they didn't do anything down low.
Right.
And not for anything, the rebounds are pretty fair, actually, too. They're they're identical on offense, and they got 2 more than us on defense. So, which is normal.
They had the edge early, and then I think with Gary Air coming in, I think that changed a little bit. So
now I know it's North Florida. I mean, when we talk about these games, you got to preface it with, I know it's North Florida, because I'm not trying to hype it up any more than I need to. But Gary A, I mean, obviously, kind of his best game. Would you say it's his best game? I think it's his best game so far this year. I mean, in 16 minutes, right? 16 minutes, he did really good.
Yep.
So, I mean, you got Sidibe down there who, if he's not grabbing rebounds, he's not doing anything. He gets 2 fouls. He gets 2 fouls in less than 2 minutes, or just over 2 minutes, one or the other. I mean, it's like, if he's not, we need Gary A to come in and fill this gap, because pretty soon, getting into conference play, we're going to see those minutes build, I feel like, because Sidibe's struggling now. I just don't see him doing much better, and I know it's about the matchup too, but
no, well, I mean, let's put it this way, right? Last year, there was times when Chuku got in foul trouble, right?
Yeah, absolutely, like almost every game.
Right, well, yeah, right, exactly. And you had options. And most of the time, when it was close games or you needed to get the W or something, who did Boeheim put at center?
Dolezaj.
Exactly. So right now in this situation, if he goes to center,
it's a better out.
Well, if you have Elijah on one side, who do you put in on the other side?
If you have Elijah on one side, you put Dolezaj in at center. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
that's why we need him to do that, because realistically, that's a lineup that he's going to want to play.
That's a good lineup, because
of course that's a good lineup.
Gary A can play inside too. Right. I mean, he just needs to not be so timid.
Right.
I mean,
and I would like to get
physical.
to a point to where Jesse Edwards or Sidibe could play against some big guys, so that you could maybe move Elijah Hughes up to the front of the 2-3 as like the 2 guard, and have Gerard in there or something like that. So
and Coach touched on Jesse too.
What's that?
Coach touched on Jesse, which Jesse would have got minutes, but he didn't get any and he only played 7 guys. And here's another thing, real quick. He didn't play Jesse because exactly. He didn't play Jesse because of the game plan, and that was to get out in the corners. And
that's why you saw Braswell out there.
Yeah,
otherwise you would have saw Jesse Edwards. He got the minutes that Jesse Edwards would have normally gotten, and that might change from game to game based upon the matchup.
Absolutely, we have the versatility for it. So, and here's the other thing. We talked a lot about coming into this stretch of the last 3 non-conference games as an opportunity to be able to dive into the bench and pull these guys out and throw them out there, assuming we were going to be able to, start to put these games away a little bit earlier. But that hasn't been the case.
Right.
So coach hasn't been able to actually pull these guys off the bench. I mean, he only played 7 guys. I mean, really, you look at Braswell, he only played 8 minutes.
No, Howard Washington, he had an injury, right? So
yeah,
and that's
he
another
was injured, yeah.
That's another monkey wrench in the whole thing because you have Carey who's hurt, and now you have Howard Washington who doesn't really know what's going on with his knee. So
yeah,
it looks
it's a
like
reoccurring injury, and you got the big three all played 40 minutes: Hughes, Boeheim, and Gerard. So
get used to it. I mean, we've been used to that for past couple of years anyway, right? So
yeah, yep.
But I'd say that there's probably a good chance we're going to see Godin come in, get some minutes against Niagara because with Howard Washington being hurt, it's like next man up. We got to get him experience. So,
all right, Joe. Anything left to touch on for the Purple Pelicans or whatever the hell they are?
No, I'm glad that we shot purple.
No, that's. I'm sorry, that's Niagara. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
The Ospreys.
It's the Ospreys, man. Like
Sorry,
I said,
it's like birds
I think
all over
they're
the
a good
place.
team. I feel bad for their conference, the other teams in their conference, because they're gonna have fun with them.
Yeah, they are going to. They got some good shooters, man.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we all saw it. So when North Florida wins the Atlantic Sun, it ends up being a 15 seed playing against that 2 seed. Everyone saw what happened. We know what they can do. So, I'm glad that we could shoot it efficiently enough to be able to beat them and stick to the game plan and just instead of going out there and maybe just playing and thinking, being cocky and thinking that you're just better than them and you're going to blow them out of the water because that would have been a bad ending.
Right. All right. Well, that's time to hear from the fans. But before we hear from the fans, as always, we're going to hear from MyBookie first. MyBookie, longtime sponsor of the show. We thank them for sponsoring the Cuse Militia. And remember, if you are familiar with betting online, go ahead, try MyBookie out. Best sports book on the planet. If you are not familiar with it and you don't know what to expect, research it, see if it's right for you. But I will tell you this. It doesn't matter whether you're an expert or you're a first-time customer. MyBookie is going to welcome you to come and play. So quit waiting around. Try it. Sign up today. Got a huge bonus for you. If you got a bunch of questions, that's fine. MyBookie's patient customer service team can walk you through the process. And the best part is you join now and you can take advantage of this huge offer here. Look, log on to mybookie.ag. Make your first deposit by using the promo code CHAIR, CHAIR. And MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar to jumpstart that bankroll. Again, that's mybookie.ag. Make your first deposit using the promo code CHAIR. They'll double your deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,000. Go ahead and do that. Use the promo code CHAIR. CHAIR. MyBookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid. MyBookie. Thank you, MyBookie. All right. So, it's time for fan feedback, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Is that the deal? Okay.
That's the deal.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, you guys know the deal. Just go to the socials at the end of every game. I prompt you to give your thoughts. I ask for them. You give them. We talk about them here so long as they are worth it, I suppose. And it's been slim pickings lately, I'm not going to lie. And it's been slim pickings, I think, because mostly because the games, I think. So let's start with this one. Now, Brandon on Facebook. Now, I know Brandon is he's a big Bills fan, and this was after the Bills game. He decided to come on here and blow off some steam, I think. And I know there's a lot of Bills fans that listen to the show, and I kind of feel your pain on some of that, on some of those. There was a face mask. I never stopped seeing the end of this face mask call.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
look,
things
they're
happen.
Close. A lot of people think the Patriots are annoying. The Bills are close.
The Bills
real
are
close.
right
They had
there.
They had two real close games against them this year.
Yes.
And again,
Yes.
and the Bills, they are already guaranteed a wild card. So if you're a Bills fan out there, I mean, I'm going to let you know 100%. I'm a Giants fan, and I don't like you. But you guys look good this year, and you're in the playoffs. So I'd be willing to bet you beat them again if you play them. So we'll see.
Josh Allen. If Josh Allen can evolve every year to some extent, the dude is a freaking awesome. He's going to be elite.
If he can just see just a little bit more, if he can just see the field, the field better, just a little bit more, like you said, then I think they're good. I think their defense is stout and been set up, and I think with the running back Singletary and stuff, they get some playmakers as far as receiver goes, and they'll be real tough. But the
defense is there.
No,
the defense is there. So I mean, that's what.
And we're not trying to puff up Bills fans. I mean, this is just two unbiased.
Yeah, totally,
fans
right?
Being able to talk about a team honestly. I mean, he's a Raiders fan. I'm a Giants fan. We have no room to talk when it comes to the Bills this year. So, hey.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Next time you play against New England, I hope you get them.
Which would be the playoffs. So, I mean, I would love to see the Bills win. Well, true, but I would love to see the Bills knock the Patriots out of the playoffs. Like, how huge would that be for our Cuse Nation fans that are Bills fans? Like, I could root for that.
They'd love it.
I could root for that. Anyways, Brandon got on Facebook. He wanted to blow off some steam. He said, definitely expected. At season's end, won't help us in the polls, rankings, or quad 1 or 2 games. But if fans want to act like this is a big deal, then sure. Well, Brandon, I would present you this question: what would have happened if we had lost this game? Because these are the games you have to win, and we can. And this is the thing about when you win these games. And that's what's hard about coming on here, Joe, and talking about them and puffing them up, and which we don't do, by the way. We don't puff these games up. We know what they are. But if you lose them, it's a dramatic 180. So, to win them, expected? Maybe.
I don't care who you're playing. If you're 6-5 and you're not used to being that, then every game's important.
Absolutely.
So, again, I mean, it might have been a situation where he was a little bit perturbed or
he was
upset about something else. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to take – I mean – we sit there and we hit up silver linings, but we also hit up negatives when we win and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't 100% a clean game, but it was really a good one. And the way North Florida shoots, you never know. So again, when you're 6-5, every game's important. Yeah,
I mean, Syracuse, they played a pretty good game. It was a pretty good game.
It was a clean game.
Yeah,
you can always shoot better, but it was a clean game.
Right, 45% from the field. That's okay, but. Their defense probably is where I would, if I want to put a negative out there, it'd probably be their defense. They just don't close out good. We talked about that. Andrew on Facebook says, you schedule these games to get W's on the board. Did that. You hope for more dominant performances, though. Joe, we always say a W is a W, first of all. Second of all, every team plays these games. Every team. Duke plays these games. North Carolina plays these games. I mean, hello.
North Carolina just lost to Wofford.
Wofford beat North Carolina. I mean, UVA plays these games. They lost to...
No, and well, this is something that we've seen since...
Who did UVA lose against? Oh, my gosh. Who was it?
This year?
Stephen Austin, wasn't it? Was it Stephen Austin or something like that?
Stephen F. Austin beats Duke.
Oh, that was Duke. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's my point.
But either way, like we talked about, I mean, ever since the one and done rule has gone, we've seen these basically basketball get to a point where the mid-major teams they're getting a little bit better. I mean, there's a trickle down effect.
Yeah,
and there's
absolutely.
better players that land in these schools, and they basically all are 4-year players. So when you get a senior laden and very experienced team with a couple, hidden guys that are really good young guys, then these teams can really, really compete. So, and what I would say to that comment is, with Oakland and with North Florida, when it came to Vegas, I think both games opened up to us being around 14-point favorites. And I don't know if it went down or up a little bit, but I don't know if we covered. I mean, we lost both games by 12, right? Or we won both games by 12.
We won both by 12. And by the way, we have not won or lost any game in single digits so far this year. That's crazy. We're 12 games in, and we haven't won or lost a game by single digits.
12 games. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It hasn't been a single digit game, right? Yep.
Yeah. No, there has not. That's crazy.
And I'm going to be willing to bet that that's probably going to go to another game.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Well,
But
at least one more, we're hoping. Yeah. So anyway, I don't have the whole handle here at Orange something, but Lynn on Facebook, Braswell, Guerriere, and Edwards need more playing time with Buddy and Sidibe getting more bench. Goodine over Buddy, but it wouldn't happen. No hope with Buddy. Goodine over Buddy is the dumbest take I've heard so far this year.
Yeah, I don't really. Look, I can understand.
I get your frustration with Buddy, though, right, Joe? Can we a little bit? But that's a after a win too. When he scored 16 points? Yeah, 16 points. He had 6 rebounds, 2 steals. I mean, and only 1 turnover. That's pretty good.
I mean, I could understand if the guy wasn't doing anything. But for people to just claim that it's just like nepotism and it's just like, and want to bang on Buddy just because he's not as athletic as Goodine. Like, he's a better player.
He's a better player.
What did you do? I mean, what happened? What happened between last year and this year to where, I mean, remember last year?
Oh, everyone loved
Buddy.
Yeah.
Early, it was kind of, and then he came through in the ACC. He was hitting shots, coming off the bench, making big plays, right? I mean, everyone.
And in the NCAA
tournament,
he did good.
Now all of a sudden, it's his second year. He's a starter. He's got the green light, and now there's a whole bunch of haters.
I mean,
why?
I'll tell you why. And just to play your role as devil's advocate, because
you know why.
Sometimes he starts really slow. He throws up shots. Sometimes they're awful. But you know what? He goes 0 points in a game against whoever the hell it was. I don't even remember. Who the hell was it? And then he scores 25 points in the second half. I mean, so...
It was Oakland, right?
Was it Oakland? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was. And I'm good with 25 points total. I don't care when they're scored, you know? I guess the main thing is that for me, honestly, he's taking care of the ball. Gerard, that was one thing that I liked about Gerard coming in before I even know really who he was that he's a good ball handler. Those things are huge.
Yep.
Those things are huge. So, anyway.
Yeah, well, and when you look at it, you show me somebody who is proven to take his time.
Yeah, not Guerriere, or not Goodine, I'm sorry.
No.
Not Goodine, I can tell you that.
No. And I'll tell you what, all those guys have had enough minutes to prove it.
Yeah, there's a reason, by the way,
through
Washington,
Italy preseason, all the practices, all these non-conference games. Goodine's he's seen plenty of all his players, so I would trust the coach in understanding that if they're not playing and other people are playing more than them, there's a reason because of that.
And there's a reason also that Washington's getting more burn. He's getting burned over Goodine, by the way, when he's healthy.
Right.
So, at Mr. Wedgehead, 5 players in double figures, 1 turnover for Gerard, 6 assists, 4 turnovers for the team. Love every bit of that. Who would have thought defense would be the issue with the Syracuse team? We didn't run them off their spots and close quick enough in rotations. Yeah, I mean, we kind of hit on that a little bit. So,
well, we did, but we also, I mean, like I talked about, when you have guys out there that are 6'7", and a couple of those guys, they get rid of the ball real quick. Like I said, Hendrickson and JT Escobar, they get the ball out quick. So, and there was times when we were right there, and they still just drained them. I mean, the guys are shooting 40% for the season. Through 13 games of the season, they're shooting 40%. It's not a fluke. And usually teams like North Florida play their toughest competition early in the season. So imagine what they're going to do to their conference. So I don't know.
Well, you gotta look at some of these guys getting into the tournament at the end of the year, and it's still early, so we don't really know what's going to happen. But we've played some good teams. This early schedule, these first 13 games, because I'm not going to say just the non-conference because of the 2 conference games, but these first 13 games have probably been the toughest first 13 games that I remember seeing in a long time. Think about the trip to New York. Penn State's going to be somebody. They're a good team.
Yep.
So you know, I mean, even OSU is pretty decent. So it's been a challenge, and it's been a challenge with a young team. We're talking about 9 sophomores and freshmen on this team, and you're just still trying to find your identity. Well, we know their identity, but they're just honing in their skills, and they've got to work on a little bit of defense. I mean, it is what it is. Well, let's do this one. At Tony Staffieri on Twitter. Enjoy Elijah now because this is it. His draft stock is peaking, and he's about to get paid. We touched on it a little bit. It's absolutely that I buy absolutely. There's no doubt about that. This kid is a star. So
and just to throw up there, kind of, I know we usually don't want to go backwards, but from what you were saying, as far as the teams that we've played and we've lost to, based upon the net rankings that have just recently came out last Monday, there's only 5 ACC teams that are ranked higher than the worst loss that we've had. So
really,
yeah. So again, it's not like we're playing a normal ACC. I think the ACC is down a little bit, so I think that does help us. Plus, like you hit on so many times, like you said, with the schedule, there's no reason for people to give up on this team yet, for sure. So
yeah, let's see, at Cottit_Jeff. The passing is getting better and better, creating shots with Dolan Hughes, attacking the rim. Brissett Jr. is getting more aggressive. Brissett Jr., I'm assuming that's Guerrier.
Guerrier.
So, the passing has been awesome this year. I mean, it's been freaking awesome. I remember, you can go back to episodes last year, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but you can go back to episodes last year where we talked about, holy cow, we had 10 assists this game. That's awesome. Well, we're getting in the 20s now all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
And how we're talking about just one-on-one ball, all that stuff, right?
Yes. Tyus battle versus...
No, Jeff, you hit it right on the head, buddy.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
On the head. It's like this team, they might be younger, but just to be able to see the way they move the ball around on offense, it's not just waiting for the clock to die down one-on-one. Definitely a more exciting team. For maybe not a better team than last year at this moment right now, but to have,
I think it's more talent
between your freshmen and sophomores. You have 9 of them that make your whole team, and you see people get better. And again, Guerrier, I think we've talked about it. We can't count on Sidibe to kind of step up and be that person that's going to maybe push this team into tournament talk. It's going to be Guerrier.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Brissett Jr.
Brissett Jr.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, getting the ball inside to Dolezaj. I mean, he's not always going to have these opportunities like he had last game, obviously. Plus, when watching the tape, they're going to know that he can do it. But how much finesse does he have in there? Like, he's really good in there. He's got the floater shot down, man. He's got these little
finger roll he had.
Yes, little 6 to 8 foot floaters and all this. Like,
he had one finish that was real good. I mean, he can score all over the place. It's really
good, man. It's really good, and he's only a freaking sophomore. He's a 4-year player.
He's not a sophomore.
He's not. What is he? A junior?
It's redshirt junior. Yeah.
Oh, he's a redshirt junior. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he has one more year.
Yeah, one more year. Okay. All right, well.
If he chooses.
Oh, trust me, he'll be here. So, anyway.
Oh, okay. I'll trust you.
At Orange Faithful, puzzled as to why Guerrier spent so much time on the bench. Well, I mean, looking back at it, you wonder why, but Dolezaj was so hot. I mean, they put him in, was like 5 minutes or almost like 5:45, almost 6 minutes left when he fouled out, and they brought Guerrier in, and he did his thing. That was, you talk about he got 16 minutes. That was almost 6 of them. So,
right.
At the end of the day, when you look at it, it's easy to sit back and be like, man, it should have got him some more burn. I mean, Sidibe, what did he get? 22 minutes. He could have probably been knocked down to maybe 12. I mean, that's just me.
Again, going into the game and
8 rebounds, bro, 4 points.
I know.
One of them was a put bad dunk. I was very happy, but I also did see him put the ball on the ground and get denied. So I mean,
I know
he doesn't need, just like Chuku. It's like Chuku 2.0. You don't. He doesn't need to be putting the ball on the ground. Like, that's not his game. Like, just go up. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then he's trying to float stuff in like he's Dolezaj, and he's not making it. So I mean, dunk, dude, dunk.
Yeah, I get it. Look, like what Boeheim said. If he gets like a good pass where he can finish and dunk it, like from Gerard, or he gets like a putback off a rebound, and he can finish that. But the days of expecting any type of offense, of like steady offense from
Center?
our big men, yeah. I mean, I just don't see
It's
it.
not
It's
right
not going
now.
to happen.
They're
in the
not on the
middle of-
bench. No.
Right.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to get the best of both worlds there, put it that way.
No.
This is our biggest contention with recruiting, is that we need that guy. We need like the Anawaku, the Raheem Christmas type guy. You know, someone that
Right.
could be physical in there and freaking take it. You know, he's getting pushed around. You need someone with some hands too, some finesse. And you have to have all of that. You know, rebounds all the time is great. I mean, if you're getting a bunch of rebounds, it's great. But I don't know, 8. I mean, it's good.
Right.
It's okay. But
Well,
I mean,
I
he
guess
led the
my
team in
thing is-
rebounds. To be fair, he led the team in
Right,
rebounds.
but we've had a bunch of I mean, look at our national championship team. Craig Forth wasn't an offensive beast,
Yeah.
right? So at the end of the day, if you don't have to score, but you have to play defense, you have to be able to rebound, and that's what Craig Forth did. That's what Bai Muzakita did. That's what these people did. They weren't like the best offensive scorer. They weren't the Eton Thomases of the world that were going to be, you know, or the Onawakus that could score and put up solid double-doubles every single time, but they were the guy in the middle that did not allow the offensive rebounds and didn't allow easy shots down there. So, again, we're not asking for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're just asking
Yeah,
for a
no.
guy
It's not much,
that
is it?
that can stop
Just,
a point. It can stop a guard from making a layup.
well, when you put it like that. Look, one more. At Cuse Waterboy. We'll end with this fellow here. Normally, our defense has been our strength. The past few years, it's now done a 180, and it's the offense. If we can tighten the screw with the zone and keep hitting shots, we can shock some teams in the ACC. Gary A needs more minutes as well to drive to the basket and draw fouls. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've said it before, and I mean, maybe this is a dumb idea. I don't know.
Don't say it.
I'm going to say it. I don't know.
Ah,
I'm not the analysis guy on the show. You are. So
But how many
I
times
could say
have I
it
told
and
you
get
not
away
to
with
say
it.
Okay, go on.
Look, here's the thing. I think you got a guy shooting 96, 97% from the foul line. He's got to go in there and do something, man. I still say Joe Girard needs more confidence just drawing the foul, man.
Right.
He's got to develop that skill of being able to go in there and be that guy.
Yeah.
Gary A., what was he from the line?
And I didn't know that's what you were going to say. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I agree with that.
Gary A was 4 for 8 from the line, which isn't terrible. I mean, which is terrible, but isn't terrible considering we're talking about Syracuse. Right? You get 50, I guess you're happy. I don't know. But you got a guy that shoots 96, 97% from the line. He needs to develop that skill to get in the lane and be able to try to get these and ones and just get people in trouble. Just get him in trouble. He has the finesse. He has the ball movement. That's got to be the game that he develops. He's already got the outside shot. Right? So, anyway.
Well, again, I mean, when it comes to that, when you want to be elite, it comes to the mental. It doesn't come to the physical. There's people that have been bigger, faster, stronger that never make it to the top level because of their mind, and that's one thing that, again, he can take advantage of. When you're playing, you can see tendencies and you can see things that people do to where you can take advantage of that. And if he can do that and get fouls called and get people in trouble, like you said, or go to the line one way or another, then that's just going to open his game up. Because you think about it. Think about like when he plays Pittsburgh. I mean, look at 2 years ago, right? Pittsburgh had 2 freshman guards, and now they're about to be juniors, and those guys play tough defense in your face. They're going to be up in, and they're going to look at this little 6'1" white boy freshman like we're about to rough him up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Intimidate him. Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Well, you got to stand up and be like, look, you ain't gonna push me around.
Right. Or if you find a tendency, you watch some tape, see some things,
Yeah.
You just do things to get him in foul trouble.
Right.
And then what?
And, well, I'm telling you, Gerard's that player. It's just that he's young.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's going to take experience. He's exactly that player. Yeah. If you play point guard and you do what he's done for so long, all the points you score, you know that there's a mental aspect to that. When you play quarterback and you go and you win state championships, there's a mental aspect to that. So at some point he's going to see it. You see some of the passes that he makes. That's vision, both basketball and football combined. That's just his overall. You can tell, guys, high IQ sports guy.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
When he gets it, then it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and won 2 state championships in the Dome as a quarterback, by the way.
Right.
So,
right.
Anyway, all right, that is it for the North Florida Ospreys. Valiant effort.
Dude, I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to see him in the tournament.
I wouldn't either. It was a little too close for comfort, but...
And they're the same conference that Florida Gulf Coast came
yes.
from.
Well, Florida
Gulf.
Yes,
yep.
absolutely.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Florida Gulf Coast is a different animal, though.
Well, they were then. There was a different kind of thing going on, but I can see. I'm going to follow them because of this game, because of this whole 3-point thing. Like, I'm going to follow them and see how they do as far as this season goes. So
absolutely, as well with everybody. All right. All right, Syracuse will play its last non-conference game of the season against Niagara Saturday, December 28th at the Dome. Niagara sits at 2-8, and they're coached by former Duke guard and SU quarterback Greg Paulus. The game time will be at 7 o'clock on ACC Network Extra. The all-time series, listen to this, the all-time series between these two teams sits at 52-28. Can you believe they played that many times? This is insane. In favor of the Orange, they've won they've won the last 8 meetings dating back from 1976 to 2000. Look, here's the thing. 1976 to 2000. So we're talking about, oh gosh. Oh man, I put myself on the spot. Alan Griffin, 2000, Joe. Come on, help me out. Alan Griffin.
God.
Billy Seelick. Oh,
Dude.
Come on, Joe. You're so good at this.
2000?
2000, yes. Alan Griffin, Billy Seelick, Clef Duaney, maybe? Come on.
Yeah, probably definitely Queth Duaney, because he was a senior when it came to
03?
The national championship game that we won. So
oh my gosh. What's the other one? There's another big one in there, I thought. Maybe not.
No.
Oh, Preston Shumpert?
Yeah, Preston Shumpert was a junior. Damone Brown was a senior. Deshaun Williams, Alan Griffin, Jeremy McNeil was a freshman.
All right, cool. All right. Well, anyway, they're led in scoring and rebounding by 5'10", 171-pound senior guard James Towns. He's got 15.2 points a game and 3.7 rebounds a game. The other 2 players averaging double digits a game are Raheem Salom and with 12 points a game, and Marcus Hammond with 11.2 points a game. Another crazy stat I saw while I was doing a little walkthrough on these guys was that there are 8 players averaging at least 18 minutes a game. And there's 10 players averaging at least 11 minutes a game. So, Coach Paulus over there, he's playing a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah. And, hey, just want to give it a shout-out. One of the reasons why we did lose some games, Calvin Murphy. Niagara back in the day used to be really good. I don't know if you know who Calvin Murphy is, but from 67 to 70, dude. 67 to 70, he played for Niagara. He averaged 33 points a game. He was an All-American 3 times. And even brought Niagara to a second-round NCAA tournament game. And one of his best games, ironically, was against Syracuse, where he scored 68 points. And it was a game at Niagara.
What?
Yeah.
68?
Mm-hmm. And he was a 5'9" guard that was just real quick defense, and he could just score all over the place. So he went and played in the NBA and stuff like that. So back in the early years, Niagara was a more formidable team, and because of probably the the location and the distance is probably why they played as many times as
that's
they
why
have.
played so much. Sure, yeah.
But yeah, he was I would want to give props to him because he was Purple Pelican. God. All right, yeah. Well, anyway, going back to this, so Greg Paulus, obviously, he kind of fell into this job. I don't know if you know exactly what happened with this. I don't know the story. No, I don't. In the beginning of the season, John Beeline, right?
Yeah.
All the way back to John Beeline. You remember John Beeline? He was the
Michigan?
coach at Lemoyne.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was Lemoyne all the way back in the day.
Yeah,
we used to play him all the time, right?
Yeah.
Then he got the job in Michigan. His son, right? He got a job at West Virginia. Then he got a job at Michigan. His son played at Lemoyne, then followed him to West Virginia. He played at West Virginia. And his son, Patrick
Gerard's
Beeline.
dad, by the way, Joe Gerard's dad played for Beeline at Lemoyne. But go on.
Yep. And his son, Pat Beeline, he actually started the season as the head coach of Niagara, and he hired Greg Paulus to be an assistant coach. And then he left. He ended up leaving the team, so Paulus got named the interim coach. So,
okay.
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily his team. This seems like kind of a situation that's just not good, kind of left in shambles. And when you look at the record and you look at the stats and you look at
2-8.
So again, I mean, I could sit here and go over names that we don't care about and we don't know about, and we talked about.
Paulus, a local boy from CBA, right? If I remember right.
What's that?
Paulus, a local boy from CBA.
Yeah, CBA.
Went to Duke for basketball. Came back as a grad transfer, right, for football.
And played quarterback at Syracuse.
Right. Okay. So Coach Paulus has been shoved in a bad situation. The team kind of stinks, but I mean, never look past anybody. But
no,
what?
Like, this is one. If there's one this year we can look past, it's going to be this one. Sorry. I'm just saying, based upon
save the best for last.
And everything, I mean,
yeah.
Ken Palm, they're ranked like 314. They're just not a good team. I don't think they have a guy taller than 6'8" or 6'7" with relevancy that even plays, other than a 6'11". I think they say 6'11", but he's labeled as a guard, so I don't even know what that really even means. And when you talked about the minutes, it's all over the place. It's so obscure. Like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So all I know is that they're not good enough to beat us, and that's really what it is. I do feel bad for the position that he got thrown in, considering that Greg Paulus was an assistant at Ohio State just a couple years ago with Thad Matta.
That's crazy.
So now, right. So, but again, when it comes to him, he's in a situation in a conference where all they need to do is get better throughout the season, because all that matters in their conference is their conference tournament. So regardless of the ass whooping that they're about to take,
you better hope so. You better hope so.
It's a learning curve so that team can get better throughout the season. And hopefully, I mean, like I said, I have no ill will. I mean, we went to ESM, CBA. It wasn't like we were the greatest fans of that school, but I mean, I have respect for the way that he's played athletic, the way that he's not
total athlete.
It's not a cocky. I mean, he's not a hard person to.
Oh, well, we hated him at Duke, and then he comes to play quarterback, and we're like, yeah, and he did okay. He did okay.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, he held it down until Nassib was ready to go. So
yeah.
And that was the beginning of Marone's years. So he came in, he did what he needed to do. And, I mean, I'm grateful for what he did to the school and coming back. And obviously he's from our area. So, again, I hope nothing but the best for him, but it's not going to be good for him to come this next game. That's all I'm saying. But for the rest of the year, you can build on that. He's in a conference where you can get better, and the only thing that matters is the tournament. So
and
I wish him nothing but the best for the rest of the year, and I hope that they go out there and they
Joe
do something
is
in the conference
burying the Purple Penguins.
I'm not burying them. I'm just being honest.
You put them to rest. You put them to rest. Good luck, he said. See you later. Get that look off your face.
I'm just, like I said, I'm not saying that we're going to blow them out. We're going to kill them.
Right.
But this is the worst team that we're we're going to play all year. And we've gotten this far without a hiccup.
Oh, well, we've had a couple of hiccups.
No, hiccups against teams that are better than us.
All right. I mean,
right now, at the time when we play those teams are better than us. We haven't lost to a team that's worse than us, like we talked about.
Right. Well, here's the thing. It'd be good for these guys to like the Goodines, like the Robert Braswells, like
Guerrier.
the Guerrier. It's Guerrier, Joe. I keep going through this with you.
Depends on if you're saying it the French name or the English name.
No, I think the English way is Guerrier.
Okay, I'm saying it the French way then. It doesn't matter. We're both right. Proceed.
Someone please correct Joe on the correct pronunciation.
There's two different pronunciations.
Guerrier.
There's two different pronunciations.
The French one's really weird. It's like you and I can't say it. The English one is Guerrier.
I took 4 years of French.
You did?
Yes.
Shut the door.
I did not.
Is it shut?
What was the thing at?
We are so off topic. What?
What was the thing? The Regents. I passed the Regents. I scored a 93 in French Regents.
Did you really?
Yes.
My wife took French. Went to France actually.
Well, I've never been there, and honestly, I wish that I took Spanish because I've never met a French person. I've never used it, and I forgot everything. But I know plenty of Spanish people. I wish I would have taken that. I wish I would have done that language. Yeah, without a doubt.
Spanish. It's more useful these days, apparently.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely not running into a bunch of French people at work.
Parlez-vous français? Oui, oui.
Pizza.
Guerrier.
So, anyways, all right, look, we got to go. I'm sorry, guys. Look,
sorry.
So, we're going to do the scouting report. There it is. Unfortunately, I just came up with an idea that Joe and I are going to put together a scouting report for game day. So we got an easy one coming up. So look for it game day to be on the socials.
Oh, they're easy, huh?
This one's easy.
Says who?
Says me.
Oh, okay.
This one's going to be easy. It's going to be fun. We'll have some fun with it. But we're going to do these. Everybody's got their pregame thing. Game day thing, I should say, not pregame thing, but everybody's got their game day thing. Ours is going to be the scouting report on the opposing players. So anyway, Joe, that's it. I'm done. You done?
Yeah, I got nothing left.
He's got nothing left.
Unless you want to talk more about languages.
No, I'm good, man. I'm sorry. Right. I speak English and I know very, very, very little bit Italian, very little bit Spanish, and I mix them both up all the time. So anyway. That's all I got. Look, thanks to MyBookie. Go to mybookie.ag, enter the promo code chair, match you dollar per dollar. Thank you to Blue Chew. Go there, enter the promo code chair, bluechew.com. Try for free. Just pay $5 shipping. After that, it's free. So, for Joe. Oh, thanks to all of you for participating in fan feedback. Thanks for listening. Rate, review, subscribe. We love you. Take care. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.